Righty, and then let's get going with the lesson. All right, so last week um we one second. Okay, go. Last week we ended off looking at the um timeline of Esau um through from his origins in Mount Seir um around uh about 1200 BC all the way down to we got to let's see here 359 to 336 BC when Esau had dominated the land of Japheth. All right. Um, so today we're gonna continue from there, finish that up, right? And then try to get into the artifacts showing who were the ancient people in those lands before Esau. And I think that's all we'll have time for today. But if we have time, we'll start getting into how Esau got his land back, uh, after he was kicked out of it by the Babylonians. So let me see. Let's start here just as a refresher in 359 to 336 BC. Um, you want to read this? Sure, go ahead. Yeah, you gotta read from here. Well, just read from here. Okay, so this is from 359 to 336 BC, we read about Esau dominating the land of Japheth, right? And here's how it goes. Go ahead, Kara.
During the
Reign
reign of the
Argid
Argid king Philistine 11th
Philip II.
Philip II,
Mm-hmm.
359.
Okay, wait 1 second. I'll tell you what. I'll get you to read one of the scriptures, okay? Because it's gonna be a little bit easier for you. All right. So it says here, during the reign of the Argead king Philip II in 359 to 336 BC, Macedonia subdued mainland Greece. All right, and this we showed all the receipts, for him subduing mainland Greece. Okay, so this guy wasn't there, right? And remember, we looked at how the Macedonian is the Edomite. Okay, the Temanid, right? Teman, to be specific, the firstborn of Esau, right? So the Timonids, the firstborn of Esau, subdued mainland Greece, man. They subdued them, right? That's how they got it, right? And they also subdued the Thracian Odrysian kingdom, all right, which are Japhites, all right? Through what? Conquest. That's how they got the place, man. And diplomacy. It was never their heritage, right? It says, with a reformed army containing phalanxes wielding the Sarissa pike, Philip II defeated the old powers of Athens and Thebes, all right, in the Battle of Chaeronea in 338 BC, all right. So this guy defeated the old powers, meaning the old leadership, man, of Athens and Thebes. And we looked at these places where they were before. All right, hopefully you remember. If you don't, here's just a quick, a quick look, essentially. Um, you know, uh, at the area that it's talking about. All right, okay. right? That area considered Athens and Thebes as well, which let me see if they have a map for Theban hegemony. All right. Thebes allied states. So here's all the allied states with Thebes. All right. This yellow part here, 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 and here. All right. Let's see. Thebes and allied states, sorry. All right. So these are the areas in yellow. Go back here. In the Battle of Chaeronea in 338 BC. Why is this important? Well, because Philip's son was Alexander the Great, man, right? The man that we read about in First Maccabees, the first chapter and the first verse, right? Where it says, Alexander, son of Philip the Macedonian, reigned, and he was the first king over Greece, right? Um, um, that's who it was, man. His father, Philip II, was Alexander's father, right? It says he was leading a federation of Greek states, and he accomplished his father's objective of commanding the whole of Greece when he destroyed Thebes after the city revolted. Okay, the federation is really of Edomite states. You understand? By that time, as we saw, Edom had already infiltrated the land of Japheth, right? Um, and through conquest and diplomacy, kept pushing them out, right? So now he's showing his teeth, right? He comes crouching first, as the Most High tell you, and then now he's showing his teeth, right? Let's see here. I want to bring out Ecclesiasticus 12:12 that warns you about Esau. It says, let's see, from verse 10 in Sirach 12. Go ahead, Kara, you can read that.
In prophecy,
In the Apocrypha.
in the apocrypha
Mm-hmm.
of a man enemies,
Wait, it says what?
of a man's
No, from verse 10.
never trust thine enemy,
Right?
for like as iron
Rusteth.
rusteth,
Uh-huh.
so is his wickedness.
Right. So the Most I say, never trust your enemy, man. Because just like iron rust, so is his wickedness. Right? So you might not see his wickedness right now, but it's gonna come out for sure. Right? Read on.
Through
Though.
though he humble himself and go crouching,
Uh-huh.
yet take good heed and beware of him,
Uh-huh.
and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass.
Right, so stop right there. So the Most I say, even though he humble himself and go crouching, even though he come diplomatic, because that's what it means to humble yourself and go crouching. You come diplomatically, like a beggar. Oh, I just want peace. Oh, I just want to do trade, right? It's all good. The Most I say, though he humble himself and come crouching, take good heed and beware of him, right? And it's gonna be to you as if you wiped a looking glass, meaning what? You're gonna see clearly what this man is up to, right? Go ahead. And
And thou shalt know as his
thou shalt know.
that his rust hath not
Nice and loud.
hath not
Mhm.
been altogether wiped away.
All right. See, you're gonna see clear that, hey, listen, this man have evil intentions. Okay. Now here's the key. Verse 12.
Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee. He stand up in thy place.
So stop right there. The Most High said, don't set Esau by you, man. Don't put this guy on your right hand. Don't give him no power in your society, man. Don't give him a way in, right? Because not if, when he overthrows you, right? He's going to stand up in your place. And we're reading about exactly that in the historical record. Esau coming, crouching, using diplomacy and conquest, overthrowing people, and then standing up in their place and saying he's them, right? Read on. Neither let him
Sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat.
Right?
And thou at the last remember my words and be
And be
prickled,
no pricked
pricked therewith.
Right? So the Most High said, don't let that man sit at your right hand, right? Before he take your seat, man, right? And then you remember my words and it prick you because you're like, man, I should have listened. That's the warning that the Most High give about Esau, man, right? And when we read in the historical record, man, this is exactly what the man did. He did it also with the Nabatean. Come through all diplomatic, and then all of a sudden you look and you see king of the Nabateans or tyrant of the Nabatean, and when you look, it's Edomites, man, right? Kings over Arabs, Edomites, right? And then he write article after article and book after book telling you, oh, the Nabateans were Arabs, but leaving out the fact that he was the one that, well, number one, they never had no kingdom. He's the one that formulated this idea of a Nabatean kingdom, and he's the one who ran it in the first place, right? So this guy always come diplomatic or come conquering, and then he stand in your place, man. That's his habit. That's what he does, right? Okay. So it says, during Alexander's subsequent campaign of conquest, right? He overthrew the Achaemenid Empire, which is the Persian Empire, and conquered territory that stretched as far as the Indus River. All right. One second here. For a brief period, his Macedonian, which is Temenid or Edomite empire, was the most powerful in the world. Okay. The definitive Hellenistic state, inaugurating the transition to a new period of ancient Greek civilization. So even here in their writings, if you really pay attention, it says the Hellenistic state of the Macedonians, okay, inaugurated or brought in the transition to a new period of ancient Greek civilization, right? And the artifacts will show the same, right? But what they don't tell you in their books is that, hey, listen, the old Greek the ancient Greek civilization they're talking about had nothing to do with them and had everything to do with so-called Asians. You never read that in their history books, man. In their history books, as I've said before, they class people by language, man. They said, oh, these people had the same language and culture. So I've said it before and I'll say it again. If Esau were writing about Canadians today, he would say, yes, the Canadians, if he found Canadians in the archaeological record and was writing about them in 1,000 years, which is not going to happen because by that time Yahweh Shai is ruling. But I'm just saying hypothetically, He would tell you, oh, the Canadians, they shared similar language and culture. And yes, that's all we know about the Canadians. So whoever was listening at that particular time is going to think the Canadians were Edomites, man. Whereas every nation in the world lives here, right? So Esau is a deceiver. He selectively leaves out information and chooses information in order to deceive. And nowhere is it more prevalent than in his history books, man, right? But if you have eyes to see, all praise to the Most High, you're able to draw out the truth. How? Simply by comparing what he says to what the scriptures say. Because we know the scriptures are true and Esau is a liar, right? So we can always measure what he said against what the Most High said, right? And then we're able to deduce the truth. Reading on, it says, Greek arts and literature flourished in the new conquered lands. Let me read that again in what it's actually meaning. Edomite arts and literature flourished in the new conquered lands, man. Where have we heard that before? Where have we seen that before? Right? It says, and advances in philosophy, engineering, and science spread across the empire and beyond. Okay? All right. So once the Edomites took over, a philosophy, engineering, and science spread across the Edomite Empire, man, and beyond the Edomite Empire, right? During the Hellenistic age, it's called. Okay. It says, of particular importance were the contributions of Aristotle. I'm sure anyone who went through school heard about this philosopher, Aristotle. They make sure every kid that come to high school, you know, learn about Aristotle, the Greek philosopher, right? But you don't know nothing about Yahweh Shai or Isaiah or Joshua or Jeremiah or any of your people. But you know about damn Aristotle, man, right? Of particular importance were the contributions of Aristotle, tutor to Alexander, man. It says, whose writings became a keystone of Western philosophy. So any of our brothers and sisters following Western philosophy, they are following the teachings of Edomite, Aristotle, who taught Alexander the Great, man, the kind of mindset to have while he conquered lands, you know, through war and diplomacy. You're not learning about your people's culture, man. You're learning about the culture of your oppressor, your conqueror, the man who hates your nation. That's what you're learning in school. And rightly so, because he rules the world. So what do you think he's going to teach you? About yourself? When we rule the world, we're going to teach the world about us. So what do you think Esau is going to do in this time? Of course he's going to teach the world about him. Of course he's going to put his face as the hero in all the movies, right? And in all the books and so on and so forth. Or let me say most of them, right? And if he's not the face, he's definitely the mentor. If he's not Spider-Man, you know, if he's not Miles Morales, he's got to be Peter Parker, you know. All right. So finishing that up. So this is what's happening 359 to 336 BC. Okay, Esau was dominating um or had dominated the land of Japheth by this time through conquest and diplomacy. 336 to 323 BC, this is when Esau colonizes the known world. All right. Um, Let me get Daniel 8 and verse 4 and 5. Let me get that Akira. Daniel chapter 8.
I'd send you a message about Akira already. Wouldn't be able to read.
Oh yeah. All right. Who's got the script? Let me see here. Brother Sean, can you bring that out for me there?
Which okay, in the third year of the reign of King
Wait, hold on.
Bed
It's verse 4 and 5. 1 second. Daniel 8 and verse 4 to 5. Just give me a second here and let me line this up. All right. Go ahead.
I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so no beast might stand before him, neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand, but he did according to his will and became great.
Right.
And as I was considering, behold, an he goat came from the west of the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground. And the goat had notable horn between his eyes.
Right. Keep reading.
And he came to the ram that had two horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran onto him in the fury of his power.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw him come close unto the ram, and he was moved with choler against him,
Right.
and smote the ram,
Yep.
and
Smote the ram. Go ahead.
break his two horns.
Right.
And there was no power in the ram to stand before him,
Mm-hmm.
but he cast him down to the ground and stamped upon him, and there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand.
Right. So who is this talking about, Bershon? Who's the ram and the rough goat?
Assuming it's talking about Esau,
Esau is what? The ram or the rough goat?
assuming he's the ram.
All right, read 21 here. 20 and 21.
The ram who thought sawest having two horns are the kings of Media and Persia.
You see that? So the ram was representing the kings of Media and Persia, right? Go ahead.
And the rough goat is the king of Gracia,
Grisha,
and
which is what country?
Greece,
That's right.
and the great horn that is between his eyes is the first king.
Right, right. And then where do we go to see who that first king was in the scriptures? You know what precept we go um, to show who that first king of Greece was?
Not sure.
All right, it's right here in First Maccabees, the first chapter and the first verse, right? It says, and it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip the Macedonian. This is Philip the Timonid, man, the Edomite, who came out of the land of Kittim, had smitten who? Darius, king of the Persians and Medes. You see that? That's literally what you just read in Daniel 8, verse 20. That there was a king, the he said the ram was the king of the Persians and the Medes, right?
Hmm.
And then now he give the ram a name. What's the ram name here?
The Macedonian.
Nope, right here. After
Oh,
the
great.
Macedonian who came out of the land of Kittim, remember the goat smote the ram, right? So Alexander, son of Philip, he said he had smitten who?
Darius, king of the Persians and Medes.
That's right. So the king that he was talking about in Daniel 8 was who? This guy
Darius.
right here. Darius, exactly. Specifically, it tell you Darius. It says that he reigned in instead, and he said, Alexander, the son of Philip, that reigned instead of Darius. He was the what king over Greece? Right here.
He was the king of the Persians and Medes.
No, no,
And
no. Yeah. No, 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 no. What do you call it? It says Alexander, son of Philip, was the second, first, or third king over Greece.
he was the first over Greece.
That's right. So this is literally talking about Alexander, son of Philip the Macedonian, which is Alexander the Great. It's literally talking about him and Darius, man. That's what that's talking about back there in Daniel 8. Okay. Um, it said the ram had no power to stop him. It said he stomped him. Let's go back to Daniel 8. Let's see here. He said he stamped him and he had no power to stand in his place. Let's see. Where is it? 4 and 5. 6 here. He came to the ram that had two horns, ran unto him. Okay. He smote the ram, man. Broke his two horns. Meaning what? He took his whole kingdom. There was no power in the ram to stand before him. He did what? He cast him down to the ground and then did what? Stamped upon him. And there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. See that? So he took the ram kingdom, and the ram had the what's called the Achaemenid kingdom that we were just reading about. Yeah. And then it said, therefore the he goat waxed very great. In the historical record, you will learn that Alexander ruled the whole known world at the time. Right? And it says, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, which was Alexander the Great. He died. And for it came up four notable ones toward the four winds of heaven. Okay, and that's his four generals that came up after him, right? Um, we're gonna get that in the historical record here. It says the reign of Alexander the Great, 336 to 332 BC, would change the face of Europe and Asia forever. All right. Let me see. Asia. All right. So this is what it's talking about. Europe. Can I get this in the context? Europe and Asia. Okay. So the whole mess with Alexander would change the face of both Europe and Asia forever, right? And we know that it changed the face of Europe and Asia forever because this guy was ruling all the way until you get to India, okay? Which is, let me see here. Yep, that little piece here. All right. So the man was ruling until you got all the way to about this part of India. Okay. He took all of that. Okay. All of this here, and the whole of the north. Anything north of Mongolia, Kazakhstan. I mean, even these places he took. The only place this guy really didn't take is China, man. That's the only place he didn't take. But all these lands, Edomites ruled these lands, the North Country, right? And that's written, right? So it says he would change the face of Europe and Asia forever. As crown prince, he received the finest education in the Macedonian court under his celebrated tutor Aristotle, which we just read about. It says at the age of 20, already a charismatic and decisive leader, Alexander quickly harnessed the Macedonian forces that his father's reforms had made into the premier military power in the region, right? So at 20, Alexander was already, what do you call it? Um, commanding his father's army, right? It says in 334 BC, he led a grand army across the Hellespont in Asia. Okay, so this is where he led his army across. Okay. This here called the Kanakali. All right. This is where he led his army across. All right. Um, Let me just prove that here. It says the Dardanelle or Kanakali Boghazi, also known as the Strait of Gallipoli, and in classical antiquity as what? The Hellespont. All right, is a narrow natural strait and internationally significant waterway northwest in northwest Turkey. All right, so the Dardanelle right here. Okay. For context, it's right here. Okay. This is Anatolia. All right. Which has Ephesus and all these places. This little piece here is Cyprus. And as you go down here, that's Israel. Let me see if I can get give me a second. Let me load up the area. KK, you can go now. Okay. Yeah. All right. For context, this is the area being spoken about. Okay. So-called Turkey is Anatolia. All right. You got Greece, you got Athens right here. Syria, Lebanon, Jerusalem. Okay, Israel is this whole area here, even up to the Euphrates River, which is this river here. So this is where Alexander led his troops across. All right, the Kanakali. All right, very close. You know, the lands are very close there. There's a very close land bridge. So it says in 334 BC, he led a grand army across the Hellespont in Asia, okay, with some 43,000 infantry and 5,500 cavalry. All right, so you have 43,000 soldiers and 5,500 horsemen. All right. It says it was the most formidable military expedition ever to leave Greece. All right. So that was the biggest military expedition ever to leave Greece. All right. And he knew what he was going to do with it. He was going to go and colonize the damn world, man. Right. The first to reach Asiatic soil. All right. So he was the first one to cross over. It says Alexander leapt ashore, right? Jumped on the shore, cast a spear into the land, and dramatically claimed the continent as Spear One. Okay. So he said, he threw his spear in and he said, this is Spear One, meaning I have conquered this place by war, man. Right? It says, in a remarkable campaign that lasted 11 years, he went on to fulfill his claim of spare one, right? And more by doing what? Conquering the Persian Empire. What we just read about in Daniel. He went on and conquered the Persian Empire of Western Asia. Notice they call this place Western Asia. Oh my gosh, man. Dodge the hijack with the globe, man. Anyway, that's a whole other topic. Yeah, notice they call this area Western Asia. All right. It's just a mess to handle this thing. And here's Europe. Okay. Let's see. In a remarkable and he went on to fulfill his claim and more by conquering the Persian Empire of Western Asia and what else? Egypt. And by continuing into Central Asia as far as the Indus Valley. Now, this is important because remember, this is about 336 to 332 BC. You have an Edomite running all of this. Alexander the Great Empire. Remember, the Edomites in 559 BC get kicked out of their land, man. They got kicked out of their caves, their crags in the rock, right? By the Babylonians, right? And now en masse, they gotta find somewhere else to be. So them coming back now, hey, they came back with a vengeance, man. Said, oh, y'all want to kick us out of our cave? Hey, we're taking everything now, right? There was a particular map. In any case, this is the important piece here. Oh my gosh, where's the map? There we go. Yeah, man. They took all of this. There's the Mediterranean Sea, Israel again, right? Turkey, so-called Asia Minor, okay? The Hellespont where they crossed. It even shows you their journey, the route, right? He came from Pella, all right, and came right across there. Here's Athens, right? And then here's the way that they took, okay, to do their conquests, all right? Shows you all the ways that he took, Alexander took. What I want you to notice is Gaza is conquered here, okay? What you're gonna learn later is that Gaza is one of the main port cities, okay, of the Middle East, okay? And it was a place that Arabs did a lot of business, okay? There's gonna come a time when Esau takes the Arabs, well, he takes back his, how Esau gonna end up taking back his territory in Mount Seir, which is here? Because if you notice, he doesn't have that yet. The Persians end up getting it. Okay, the Persians end up getting Mount Seir. The way Esau got it back was through trickery, man, right? Because the Arabs were running it at the time, right? And the Arabs, they had no interest in building civilizations, man. They were just interested in doing their business and staying in Arabia. Okay, they had no interest in building what do you call it? Monuments and all of these things. And so Esau takes advantage of that, right? By making himself the tyrant of the Arabs, claiming a kingdom, right? And then taking his mountain back from them as the king of said kingdom, man, right? But we'll get into that. So the point is this. He conquered the Persian Empire, okay? and by continuing into Central Asia as far as the Indus Valley. All right. I also want to point out this. The Most High said that the ram, which is Persia, could not stand uh, against Esau, right? And he stamped him and smote him, and he had no power to stand up before him. But notice they show you that um, Esau's empire did not include all the lands that the Persians had conquered, right? When in fact it did, man, right? And if you look here just real quick, you'll see different spots on the map. Sometimes you'll see this, for example, that does not include Edom, yeah? And then you'll see other maps that do include uh, Edom, okay, and parts of Arabia, all right? So what I think is happening here is Esau is trying to conceal that he had control of these areas as well. You understand? At least politically, right? But we'll get into that. It says, in the end, he was defeated by his own army, Alexander the Great, that is, which insisted on returning to Greece. On the way back, he died of fever in Babylon at the age of 23, and all the lands that he had conquered were divided up among his generals. All right? Remember that we just read here in Daniel. What did that say there? Brother Sean? Read Daniel 8:8 again. Chapter 8, verse 8.
Therefore the goat waxed very great, and when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven.
How many notable ones?
4.
4 notable ones towards the 4 winds of heaven. All right, and then when we read here, it tells you, on the way back, he died of fever in Babylon. That's that horn being broken. Because remember, he was the first over Greece. All right. He was a rough goat. All right. And then it said, at the age of 33, he died, and all the lands he conquered were divided up among his generals. Okay. And it was these political divisions that comprised the many kingdoms of the Hellenistic period. All right. And we looked at this before. But the kingdoms were the Seleucid kingdom, the Ptolemaic kingdom. A lot of people don't know the Ptolemies were actual Edomites, so-called white people that ruled in Egypt for many years, man. So you had the Seleucids, the Seleucid Empire. You had the let me just pull it up. Seleucid Empire. Nah, it's not showing a nice big picture. Let's open this image. Can't even see that good. Anyway, it says here the Seleucid Empire, the rise and fall of a Hellenistic empire, by Christos Antoniadis, okay, for writing for Medium. So this whole yellow part is the Seleucid Empire, all right? Let's see here. Yeah, we don't get a good picture here from these guys at all. These guys don't give us a good one either. Yeah, well, we got that. Okay, we go. Britannica gives us a good one. So this is the Seleucid Empire, all right? As that was one of the generals of Alexander the Great. Then you have the Ptolemaic Empire. Right? So look, Edomites, Edomites are here ruling. Oh, this is a very good picture here. Ooh, I can download the full-size image. Yes. Perfecto. All right. So here's everything one shot, right? The Ptolemaic Empire here. All right. Now the Ptolemaic Empire had included this area, man. It had included this area. All right. Hopefully you'll get to see that as we go through the study. Then you have the Seleucid Empire. You got the biggest chunk. All right. This is you know, basically Asia. He got the whole of Asia and some of India. Okay. Then you have Antigonus, all right, who had so-called Turkey or Anatolia, all right, and parts of Syria. And then you have Cassander and Lysimachus ruling these two areas. This is Byzantium. Around here used to be Thrace. Okay, this used to be called Thrace. All right, they kick them out and rename it Byzantium. And then Cassander was ruling, where um, um, the Macedonians first established their base. All right, and there's the Jews, Sparta, holding out during this whole entire thing, man. Sparta, that is a nation that was formed by actual Israelites, kept holding out against Esau, man. And Esau tried to attack them on various occasions, and they killed them, man. They destroyed them because the Spartans, as you know from the movies, were some serious warriors. Okay, but those guys were not Edomites. They were called the Lacedaemonians. All right, but that's a side point. Okay, the point was this: among his generals, the land was divided. Okay, and that those were the divisions. All right. And this happened 323 BC until 31 BC. This is very important. From 323 BC until 31 BC, that whole area that used to be the Persian Empire is being fought for back and forth by Edomites. Edomites, family. Nobody else in that area has power, man. Edom runs that area, okay? The major trade centers, right? Edom, Gaza, Edom, Damascus, Edom, those were major trade centers, right? The only thing Edom had to creep back into was Mount Seir, man, right? And as I said before, he did it through diplomacy and deception with people who were open to diplomacy and who he failed to conquer militarily because these guys knew the desert so well, at least in his first attempt. So his first attempt, military. His second attempt, which worked, was diplomatic, right? Oh, yeah, well, as much as deception, right? Okay. So now we get to 312 BC. We just came out of 336 to 323 BC when Alexander the Freak is taking over the whole entire world, man. The known world at that time, from east to west, using force, man, using conquest, using his 43,000 infantry and his 5,500 horses, man. right? Um, let's substantiate that happening with some scriptures, right? Um, we'll get Job 9 and verse 24, right? Can you bring that out for me, please, Brother Sean?
The earth is given unto the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
Right. So the Most High tell you straight, the whole earth is given into the hand of the wicked, man. Right? And the wicked cover the faces of the judges of the earth. And if he didn't give it into the hand of the wicked, well, where is the wicked and who is the wicked? If it's not who has the world in their possession right now, right? Let's get a precept. Well, how did the Most High uh, give the earth into the hand of the wicked? Well, this is how. Luke chapter 4, from verse 3 to verse 6. Go ahead, bro.
The devil said unto him,
Sorry, Brother Sean, are you good reading the scripts for today, or you're busy?
I'm kind of doing things, but not, so it's like on and off.
All right, no problem, no problem. You can take this one. I will split it.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, go ahead.
And the devil said unto him, If thou be the Son of God, command this stone that it may be made bread.
Right,
And Yahushua answered him, saying, It is written, that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word of Yahweh.
right. So
And the
stop right
devil,
there. So this is Satan, the spiritual demon Satan, trying to tempt Yahweh Shai, right? And Yahweh Shai tell him, hey, listen, man, hey, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word of Yahweh. All right. So watch what the devil says to him next. It's very important. Go ahead.
and the devil taking him up to the high mountain, showed unto him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time.
Right. So
And the
stop
devil
right there. Hold on. So the devil shows Yahweh Shai all the kingdoms of the world in one moment of time. Right. So the spiritual demon Satan has certain power too. You see, the man can make you see visions. Right. In fact, that's his principal power. Right. And so on and so forth, right? Mind control, that's his principal power, man, right? Now watch what happened when he show Yahweh Shai all the kingdoms of the world. Go ahead.
And the devil said unto him, All this power will I give thee, and the glory of them, for he is delivered unto me, and to whomsoever I will give it to. If thou
Wait,
therefore,
hold on. The devil said to Yahweh Shai, all this power will I give thee. Satan said to Yahweh Shai, listen, man, I can give you the power of all of these kingdoms of the world, man. And then he says, I'll give you the glory of them. And then he says, for that is delivered unto me. So, according to this scripture, Satan has the power of all the kingdoms of the world in his hand. And he said it was delivered unto him. So, who gave Satan power over all the kingdoms of the world?
Yahweh.
Yahweh. Said, there you go. That's the vanity you're going to use to destroy people. And then Satan goes and says to Yahushua, and to whomsoever I will, I give it. So Satan tell Yahushua, listen, man, I can give this to whoever I want to give it to, because it was given to me to do whatever I want with it. By Yahweh, man. So when you read about the prince of the power of the air, you're reading about the spiritual demon Satan that controls all the kingdoms of this world, man. Whether they worship him through Krishna or Muhammad or Jesus Christ, they all worship in Satan. Or Buddha, it's Satan they're worshiping. He has all the kingdoms of the world in his hand, right? Now, look what he tell Yahushua to do for him to get all the kingdoms of the world in his hand. Go ahead.
If thou therefore will worship me, all shall be thine.
So
And
stop right there. That's all I wanted. How do you get all the kingdoms of the world in your hand?
by worshiping Satan.
You have to worship Satan to get it. So when the Most High tell you the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, he covereth the faces of the judges thereof. Hey, how did this guy get the kingdom, the kingdoms of the world in his hand? He is a devil worshiper. He worshiped Satan. That's how he got the world in his hand. That's why Revelation 2:9 and Revelation 3:9 tell you there is a man that say he's the Jew and he's not the Jew, but he is the synagogue of Satan, the church of Satan. All Satan rituals that he need done, the Jewish man does it. They are the priests of Satan. That's why they're always in a black robe with their head covered, man. This is not new, right? The precepts show you that back in the day, you know, the worshippers of Baal, they had their robes too, man. You know, I can send you those, you guys, those scriptures on the side. I don't want to get too carried away, right? But I wanted to show that, hey, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Uh, you know, by who, man? Satan gave it to them, man, because they worship him, you know. Let's get Revelation 13. And I'll get 7 to 10, it says. I'll go from 4. And they worship the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. I'll go from 3. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast. Now remember, the scripture tells you the world worship the beast and the beast's image. In Daniel, didn't it call the rough goat and the ram beasts, Brother Sean?
Yep.
It sure did. So the beast that the world is worshiping is very easy to figure out. There's only one religion that give you an image to worship. And the Most High say that's the image of the beast. So, Akira, who's the beast? Akira, you there?
Sorry, I'm here. The beast is
If the whole world worships the beast and the beast image, and there's only one religion that presents an image for you to worship, and it's not the image of Christ, who is the beast?
Satan.
No. Which image? Which image does the whole world worship? Because the scripture says the whole world will worship the beast and the beast's image. What is the one image that religion gives people to worship?
Oh, the white Jesus Christ.
That's right. So if that is the image of the beast, who is the beast?
The white man.
The so-called white man is the beast. It's that easy, right? You gotta follow the clues. All the world wandered after the beast, which is the so-called white man, and they worshiped the dragon, which is Satan, which gave power unto the beast, right? And they worshiped the beast, so-called white man, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And look, this is what people say, man. Hey, who is able to make war against the so-called white man? Well, nobody else but the so-called white man. Nobody else is gonna go challenge this man in war because he'll just drop a nuke on you, man. He'll get his fighter jets with his eagle and star logo to just drop something on your head, man. And that's the end of you. You lost no people and you lost your whole population, right? So people say, who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him, who? The beast. What? A mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. Like telling you, Yahweh Shai is a so-called white man, which is an Edomite, man. Blasphemies like salvation is for everybody. Blasphemies like, hey, women can wear men's clothes and men can wear women's clothes. You name the blasphemy, this guy's with it. Blasphemy is like you can pay to get forgiveness, man. If you pay me this much, you can get into heaven. Esau sold people like certificates to heaven, man, in the Roman Catholic Church, man. There is no blasphemer greater than this man, right? It says, and power was given unto him to continue 40 and 2 months. Okay, that's 3.5 years. Okay, that's all the time that Israel was asleep in this country, right? After going into slavery and being destroyed by Esau, man. 40 and 2 months, do the math. 3.5 years, right? It says, and he opened, which by the way symbolically represents 350 years because we weren't just blind for you know 3.5 years. Okay. It says, and he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God to blaspheme his name. What did Esau do? He blasphemed the name of God. So anything Esau called God, that's not his name. So he lied against the name of God. He lied against the Most High tabernacle, his temple, his church. He also lied about them that dwell in heaven. He tell you all the angels are Edomites, man. It says, and it was given unto him to do what? Make war with the saints and to overcome them. This is how we know it's Esau as well, man. This is another clue. We are the saints. The man made war with us and overcame us, right? In Jerusalem, right? In 70 CE, and through the transatlantic slave trade, man. And in civil rights. And during Black Lives Matter. And you name it, Jim Crow era. The so-called white man keeps making war against the saints and defeating the saints. Now the war is against your sexuality. And he's winning that one too, right? Because the homosexual thing is getting pushed big time in Israel right now. You know? That's just a portion of it. He also has all the women, or many of the women, doing witchcraft now, straight up saying that they're witches, man. You know? And look, power was given him, who? The beast, over what? All kindreds and tongues and nations. Didn't Satan say, if you bow down, I'm going to give you power over all these kingdoms, man? Now look, Revelation is confirming it and saying power was given to the beast over all kindred, all tongue, which is language, and all nation, man. Actual nation, the people and their languages. He had power over all of them. It was given him by the one who had it in his hand, which is Satan, man. Right? That's why he has to sacrifice those children, man, that disappear every day. He has to appease his master. It says, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world, man. All that dwell upon the earth shall worship him. Who is it that doesn't big up the colonizer, man? Who is it that doesn't love the oppressor? Some of our very people, they will believe all scripture except the fact that Esau is the devil and he cannot be saved. That's why they say no, 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 and they turn back and go to philosophy and religion. Because the whole world worship Esau, man, the so-called white man. They believe he is the highest standard because he's put that propaganda in their head over and over and over again. But it's a damn lie. The man is the agent of Satan, called Satan himself in Revelation 12, verse 1 to verse 10. The Most High call him Satan. Daniel 9, verse 26, the Most High call him the people of Satan. Right? Romans 9:13, God tell you hate him. And so on. He said, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints, man. So what was the saints waiting for? Well, the real saints were the Israelites, us, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. What are we waiting for? What is our faith all about? What are we believing in and waiting for? For the Most High to destroy the so-called white man, man. That is the patience and the faith of the saints. That's the real Holy Ghost, man. That's the real spirit that you need to be in. Hoping and praying that the Most High come and take vengeance upon this man and watching closely for it, because it shall come. You know. And the Most High promise and say, hey, the man that killed with the sword, that man have to get killed with the sword. The one that lead into captivity, that man have to go into captivity. And now we read in here about the man that take the whole world by the sword and lead Israel into captivity. So how is he gonna go out? Right? They say, well, it was my forefathers, it wasn't me. Well, let's hear what the Most I have to say about that. Right? Isaiah 14. Isaiah 14:21. Um, Isaiah 14, I will go from 2. I'll read 2 and then I'll go down to 21. I'll read 1 and 2. For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will still choose Israel, not the church, not Christianity, not Muslims, not Buddhists, not nobody. The Most High will still choose his people. And he will set them in their own land. And he said, strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. All right. So we will be their providers. And the people shall take them, bring them to their place, Israel. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for what? Servants and handmaids. Okay. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were. We were captives of the Edomites. So now we're going to take Edomites captive. And the Most High says, and they shall rule over their oppressors, man. Right? Now let's jump down. The Most High says, prepare a slaughter for his children. Why? For the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities, man. Now, who is this talking about, man? Who go around rising up, possessing people land, and filling the face of the world with cities, man? I mean, people don't even have to answer that question. You know, right? The Most I say, hey, prepare a slaughter for that man's children, right? He going into slavery and he will be slaughtered. You know, why? Payback, man. Because that's how he got the world. The spiritual demon, Satan, tricked him. Just like he tricked Eve. He said, yeah. You won't die if you eat this. Well, that was a deception. You won't die right now, but you're surely going to die. And he did the same thing to Esau. Yeah, man, you'll get the whole world. But he never tell him the price he gonna have to pay in return. Right? He gonna get back double what he give. Satan never tell him that. Right? The Most High is gonna destroy his soul. I don't even know what that looks like. Nobody does. But the Most High has power to destroy the soul. So what is that gonna be like? Right? What is double the slavery that he put upon Israel back on him gonna look like, man? Well, it's gonna look twice as terrible as what he did to us. And if you watch any documentaries, it was quite terrible. Getting boiled in oil, you know, getting peeled alive, man, scalped, you know. Hey, he gonna get double. So this guy conquers the world. You know, in this 336 BC to 323 BC. We jump down to 312 BC, and we have an Edomite by the name of Demetrius the first Poliocertes trying to reclaim Edom by force, okay? Right? I know Esau always try to force thing first, you know. That don't work, get diplomatic, you know. Anyway, he will come and he'll do the pretext of the diplomacy, but really he's coming to slice your neck. Ask the natives, man. All right. So this Demetrius, who was this guy? I'll read here. It says, Nabatean, Nabateans are members of a people of ancient Arabia whose settlements lay in the borderlands between Syria and Arabia from the Euphrates River to the Red Sea. Little is known about them. This is the important part for this point. Little is known about them before 312 BC, when they were unsuccessfully attacked by Demetrius the First, Poliorcetes, king of where? Macedonia. So you see in 312 BC, Esau tried to take back Mount Seir, right? In them, and how do we know that? It says here, Demetrius attacked them in the mountain fortress of Petra, south of the Dead Sea. And if you guys remember correctly, if you guys remember from our last lessons, Petra, right, is where you have, this is Petra, all right, where you have this monument, all right, and many other tombs, homes, um, and temples. Okay, so in 312 BC, an Edomite by the name of Demetrius, he tried to reclaim Edom, right? Why? Because his chest is large from Alexander the Great, having conquered, the world, man. So now it's time to come back and take Edom, but he was unsuccessful, man, right? The Arabs that were using Petra as an emporium fended him off, man. You know. Then we go down to 100 BC, and we see Esau reclaiming Edom by the hand of Rome, right? Let's read about that. Right? We're almost done with Esau's timeline. And then we're going to look at the artifacts for the people that were in the land that he said he's from, right? Which is so-called Europe, but actually Japheth's land, all right? So let's read about when Esau reclaims Edom by the hand of Rome. It says Petra flourished in the 1st century AD when its Al-Khazne structure, which is possibly the mausoleum, which is a tomb of Nabatean king Aretas IV. All right. It says Aretas IV is a Nabatean king. We'll see about that. It says it was when the Al-Khazne structure, possibly the mausoleum of Nabatean king Aretas IV was constructed, and its population peaked at an estimated 20,000 inhabitants. The developed and complex system of cisterns, channels, and dams to collect and store rainwater, allowing them to thrive in the arid desert. They developed, a complex system of cisterns and channels and dams to collect and store rainwater, allowing them to thrive in the arid desert environment. It says the Nabateans developed that, right? But who was in Petra, Jordan before the Nabateans? Brother Sean. Who was in those caves before the Nabateans?
The Edomites.
The Edomites, right? And they were there for over 1,000 years. So where did they get water from? The Nabateans, who they say appeared in history in 169 BC, built complex systems of cisterns and channels. Where did the people that were there for 1,000 years get the water from? They were thirsty for 1,000 years? Try again, man. Nobody believes that. Well, let me not say nobody. Anybody with their head on their shoulders is going to see you're talking a load of fun, Bridget. These cisterns and channels and dams were already there because people had lived there for 1,000 years. This place was on the king's highway. Which king? Esau. He had a whole highway. But somebody that just reached there built the waterways. Try again. When we watched the documentary, the brother talked about how arid the desert was, man, and how nobody could survive there unless they had water. And he talked about how whoever was here had built cisterns, and well, he said the Nabateans as well, but then he showed the monuments and the paintings, and they were all Edomites. So what are you guys telling me? Right? It was surely Edom that built these things. This is why we need the scriptures. Because if you don't have the scriptures, you just believe all this nonsense. You can't pick sense from nonsense. Says most of the rock-cut buildings, which are mainly tombs, date from this and following period. This and the following period. That's a lie. Much less remains of the freestanding buildings of the city. Although the Nabatean kingdom became a client state of Rome, of the Roman Empire in the 1st century BC, right? It was only in 106 AD that it lost its independence, all right? So again, Esau reclaims Edom, okay, which Petra Jordan is in, okay? It's a major center in Edom. Well, really, that's their caves. That's where they lived. That was their main community. Okay. It says the Romans basically had a claim over it by 100 BC, man. Right? They were working for the Romans by 100 BC. And you're gonna see why they were already working for the Romans by 100 BC. And I'll tell you, it's because Edomites had already uh, laying claim to be the leaders of these people, man, right? Through their diplomacy and the threat of war, man, because the Nabateans, uh, uh, who are really the Arabs of that Nabatean region, not just the Nabathites, okay? They didn't like war, right? So they're like, okay, well, you want to say all these emporiums together is yours, and you know, you have a Nabatean kingdom. Yeah, sure. Go ahead, buddy. Can I still sell my stuff? Yeah. Okay, good. What cut for you? 15%. Okay, great. All they cared about is that they would be left alone. And remember, when the Babylonians left, they moved in. So it wasn't their place in the first place. And they knew that because they knew Esau. They knew that was the king's highway. So why war over the man for his thing? Just give him his cut and keep it moving, right? Says, although the Nabatean kingdom became a client state of the Roman Empire in the 1st century BC, it was only in 106 that it lost its independence. That's a lie, because from the time you become a client state of the Roman Empire, you've lost your independence. Okay, so they had already lost their independence for 200 years. Okay, it says Petra fell to the Romans, who annexed Nabatea and renamed it as Arabia Patria. All right, Petra fell to the Nabateans and they renamed it Arabia Petria. All right, and all it was the Romans wanting control over a place that the Idumeans had control over. Just like the Seleucids, who are Edomites, wanted control over Egypt that was controlled by the Ptolemies, another set of Edomites. Edom is always fighting Edom for the most control. It started, well, I can't say it started here. You have an illustration of it here during these times, right? And it has never stopped. World War I, Esau was fighting against Esau for control. World War II, Esau was fighting against Esau for control. World War III, Esau is fighting against Esau for control. Look at any other wars between Edomites before that, and it's always a war trying to fight for control. And this is no different. So Esau reclaims Edom by the hand of Rome in 100 BC, all right? And then in uh once they reclaim it, the Most High still, destroys Edom's heritage, okay, as he promised. All right. Um, let's read about it and then we'll read this. Actually, let's get the scripture first. All right. Brother Sean, are you able to read from verse 3 to 5 there for me, please?
Yeah. And I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness.
So stop right there. That has what do you call it? The Most High told you straight, right? He's gonna lay Esau's mountains and his heritage, which is Mount Seir, waste for the dragons of the wilderness, right? Meaning what? The nations of the wilderness gonna take it over. And that happened, man. The so-called Arabs took it over, and so did the so-called Persians. All right. Go ahead. And we just read about it. So go ahead.
Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places.
Stop
Thus
right
said,
there. Stop right there. They said we're impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. What desolate places was he talking about?
Mount Seir.
Mount Seir, that's right. Right, go ahead.
Thus said Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahweh had indignation forever.
Right. So the most I tell you straight, oh, they're gonna build it up, but I'm still gonna throw it down. They could build it up all they want. I'm throwing that place down. And the place is thrown down because we are looking at it. Every time we look at it, who's living there? Is there apartments there? There's nothing there. In fact, the people that it went so far that the people that were camping in there, the Bedouins, the Arabs that were camping in there, the Most High got the government to move them out of there and put them in a community beside it. There's nothing in Mount Seir. God mash it up and leave stones for you to look at to know, yo, that's where Esau come from. Don't listen to the tricks and the smoke screens, right? His so-called intellectuals, experts, and scholars are all smoke screens, man. He make these guys read 100 books where he repeat the same lie to them over and over again. So when they come now, they're like, yo, what do you know? I read 100 books that said the same thing. Yeah, that means you're properly brainwashed. He repeat the thing to you 100 different ways. But it's still not true. The Most High told you he was going to destroy Esau heritage, and he destroyed the man heritage, right? Uh, let's get an account here. It says, the Romans would invade Petra in 106 AD and ultimately force the Nabateans to surrender. Don't get tricked here. This is just the Nabatean kingdom was formed by Edomites. So this is an Edomite kingdom. This Nabatean kingdom is an Edomite kingdom because the actual Nabathites never formed a kingdom. Okay? The Roman Empire annexed the newly gained territory and changed its name to Arabia Petraea. They that is so funny. They called it Arabia Petraea. Go back to the Petra name again. They continued to rule over the city for more than 250 years until the middle of the 4th century AD, which is current time, when what? An earthquake destroyed many of its buildings. All right. The Byzantines eventually took control of the region, governed Petra for some 300 years. By the beginning of the 8th century, Petra was largely abandoned and no longer a significant location commercially, politically, or culturally. This is from history.com, of course. Although no longer an important city, Petra has been noted by historians and archaeologists for its unique architecture as well as specific innovation made by the Nabatean Bedouins that established the city. And again, don't get tricked, okay? No Nabatean, no Arab Bedouins did not establish Petra. We know from scripture this was established by Edomites, okay? As well as specific innovation made by the Edomites that established the city, all right? So the Most High destroyed the place, man. Mash it up, all right? And they tried to rebuild, but God mashed it up again. He hit it with 2 earthquakes and then moved all the campers, the squatters, out of there, man. Just leave the damn rock barren, saith the Most High. You know. And when we look on Google Earth at the place today, nothing gone. Which we'll do next class, right? Because I want to get into this here. And then, of course, we know 100 BC to present, finally getting to the end of our timeline. Esau conquers the world through colonization. All right. Esau conquers the world through colonization. And what is colonization? A process of establishing control over foreign territories or people for the purpose of exploitation and possibly settlement. How did the so-called Macedonians get that place? Conquest and diplomacy. Conquest and diplomacy. To do what? To control the people territory and to control the people for purpose of what? Exploitation. Because they took their architecture, their culture, their name, their swords, their clothing, their history, man. Right? It says, for the purpose of exploitation and possibly settlement, right? Setting up coloniality and often colonies commonly pursued and maintained by colonialism, all right? Colonialism, pursuing, establishing, maintaining of control and exploitation of people and of resources by a foreign group of people, implemented through the establishment of coloniality and possibly colonies, okay? This colonization keeps, I want to read this real quick here. Keeps the colonized territory and people socioeconomically othered and subaltern to colonizers and their metropole. Like to use fancy words, you know. Esau, the colonization keeps the colonized territory and the people oppressed, man. in social gathering and economically, they leave them in a state of others. They came to your land, but now you're the other, right? Um, let's see what they mean by subaltern. The colonial populations were associated with the during excluded. Okay, so exclude, so they leave you excluded, right? To the colonizers, right? And they're uh they leave you othered, and they leave you excluded from their um homeland, central territory, or state. Okay? So they exclude you, man, in your own land, right? From their affairs. But yet they talk about inclusion, man. Yeah, you're included to be under the glass ceiling. That's where you're included, man. You're included to come wash the dishes, build the houses, and do everything else that he wants you to do. And if you want to go beyond that, if you want to break the glass ceiling, you got to sell out your people, man. That's what you got to do. You got to become an agent of the destruction of your own people. That's how you get past the glass ceiling, as a snake. That's how Esau conquered the rest of the world, man. The same tactic of spying out, making inroads, colonizing, and then conquering by force and diplomacy can be seen repeated in Esau's colonization of Russia, Africa, America, the Philippines, China, Japan, and Australia. Okay? All these places this man conquered through colonization, just like he did the so-called Middle East, right? Just like he did Europe. Nothing's changed. In conclusion, for this part, Esau used the same scout, invade, and takeover tactic from his Greek and Persian conquest to conquer the world. Simple. So-called Europeans are actually Edomites that spent hundreds of years under oppression, right? And over 1,000 years under oppression, specifically from the Israelites, and over 1,000 years in the caves of Mount Seir. That's the truth. That's their real origin. The Edomites rose from the caves to conquer the world and have hidden their true origins for over 2,000 years, man. As we're here in 2024, man. Uh, Job 9:24, we read it. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So if we are the judges, if we are the saints, if we are the real rulers of the earth, the people um, for whose sake God made the earth, puts you on to Second Ezra 6 and verse 53, I believe, on down. If we are the true rulers of the earth, then the man who said that we were not, that's the wicked man. The man that's saying that we are the scum of the earth, that's the wicked. And we all know who's doing that. We all know who paints the picture of the real Israelite as the scum of the earth. And it's the so-called white man, the Edomite, right? So these are the things that we have found out, right? Let's just get a reiteration that the man came from the caves, right? Before we go into the next section of showing the artifacts um, that prove who was there before him. This is Job chapter 30. Job chapter 30. says, "But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to set with the dogs of my flock. Yea, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished? For want of famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness in former time, desolate and waste, who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat. They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief, to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in caves of the earth, and in rocks, man. Among the bushes they brayed, under the nettles they were gathered together. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. And now I am their song, yea, I am their byword." All right. So the man that came out the cave now ruling the world. All right. All right. So the story, part 4, the story sold and the truth. The story sold and the truth told. All right. So, how's everybody doing? Everybody's good? You guys are good? You guys are good for another maybe half hour, 45 minutes? You guys want to get up, do a 5-minute stretch or anything?
Yeah, we can take a break and come back. 5-minute break.
All right, let's do that then. Let's come back 340. Is that okay? You guys want to do 340 or 335?
35 is good.
What's that?
35 is good.
All right, let's come back 335.
I'm in the booth with pirates.
Set a beat up, son. Set a beat up, son. Set a beat up, son. Set a beat up, son.
Well, it's Lenoir, the most high little soldier. He keeping me protected, no looking, no shoulder. Stay in the scriptures, I gotta keep my spirit right. But I say when I rap like this, that it ain't really let it lie. Not knowing that I had done changed my ways. If you don't know my story, you understand my praise. I had some stormy days, couldn't get no love. I had to let some stuff go to get up out of the mud. And then I'm out the trenches, New Orleans to Mississippi, chucking down on Memphis with the scrolls, going be a witness. Trust the process, change don't happen overnight. And I give him praise for renovating my life. That's why I walk like that. I'm a virtuous woman, you heard me. And I don't talk like that. I don't want my spirit all dirty. I once was blind, and now I see. Waiting on my king to come and get his pillar of peace. So the spirit got me rolling, got me speaking to his soul. Heard he was looking for me. Here I am, here I go. Father bless my hands for the healing of the nation. And he told me write it down and call it self-examination. Do some self-examination. Self-examination for the healing of the nation. It's some self-examination. Yeah, self-examination. Healing of the nation. It's some self-examination. Healing of the nation. Yeah, yeah. Tear the beat up, son. Tear the beat up, son. Yeah. Tear the beat up, son. Tear the beat up, son. Yeah. Tear to beat up the righteous way. A price to pay. If you ain't keeping these laws, just sign your life away. To all the wickedness and all maliciousness, just think about it. New covenant, new heart, a mindset to light the body. All the jealousy, they really envy me. I'm walking as a queen. Maybe it's the peculiar people or royal pedigree. Shining for all them to see. I've been trapping in my root. Now I got them all intimidated. Cause I know the fruits. I know the proof. I am not a fruit of Satan's tooth. Yeah, I be seeing ya. I know how you move. Yeah. And he be showing me all your ways. And that's why I continually give him all of my praise. So if I love my neighbor as I love myself, and if I do this daily, I practice some good health. And if I don't go hard, then that would be wrong. Hurry up, sis, stop playing, man. Go finish that song. We need that self-examination. Self-examination. Self-examination for the healing of the nation. Need that self-examination. Healing of the nation. Need that self-examination for the healing of the nation. Yeah. Tear the beat up, son. Tear the beat up, son. Yeah. Tear the beat up, son. Tear the beat up, son. Yeah. I'll pray some moves out.
Wow, yellow.
Yes. Yes. Father, how you about to me? Come on, say let it rain. Come on, Father, through all my ups and downs, I just want you to let it rain on me. Yeah, should I you want? Come on, say let it rain. Come on, Father, just let it rain on me. Come on, listen. I need your love, Abba. I feel your pain too. Without your love and mercy, I would be nothing without you. I changed my life and I changed my style. I don't wanna stress no more, so Father, can you show me how to love like you do? We curse no voodoo. I'm tired of doing it on my own. I need your love to reign through. I try my best to live your word. I wanna prove my love. I wanna see your kingdom above everything I love. I don't understand it. These pastors be business about money and single-handed, spreading lies to the congregation and cause a future panic. Instead of salvation, they leading souls into ship damnation. I'm just thankful for the Father, yeah, because I know you saved me. Father, I know we all fall short of your glory, and although we might sin, I just pray that you forgive us and give us redemption. Redemption and remission from our sins. Father, let it rain on us. Yes, let your love rain on us. Father, I higher in Yeshaya. Say let it rain. Come on, say let it rain. Come on, if you feel me. Come on, let's go. It's a blessing, I learned my lesson and got selected. He chose me from the beginning and now I got the message. I used to feel close to nothing and now I know I'm something. No matter what they do to me, I know Yeshaya coming. To save us people, we Israel rise up on a mission to baptize so Jacob can rise up. We wanna feel the rain, I don't wanna feel the pain. I don't wanna sin no more, I don't want my work in vain. I gotta stay and fight, I'm Superman, no kryptonite. We gon' be alright, we gotta change and be that light. I wanna see that door, I wanna hear great job, I wanna see your glory, I don't wanna hear goodbye, let it rain. Yes, yes. Father, I hire. Can you please let it rain? For me, my family and friends. I thank you for letting me breathe. Come on, say let it rain. Glorify your name. Yes, kind. Glorify you through your son, Yeshaya Christ. It feels so great to be alive. I thank you for all you have done for my family. Yes, I thank you for it. Come on, say let it rain on me. Let it rain on me. Let it rain, say let it rain. Your love is pure, and I know your love rain on me, Father. Come on, say let it rain. Come on, say let it rain. Come on, say let it rain.
They wanna get me out that narrow path. They just wanna see you off that narrow path. You better not let them get you off that narrow path. Enemies waiting on my downfall. It's a narrow path. I don't wanna be around y'all. I was in that mud, came back out like a groundhog. Focused up on flexing on no demons, got them pissed off. Spiritual deposits, can't afford to make no withdrawals. I was 14 in them trenches, getting them nicks off. Shorty sliding with them extensions, they letting clips off. At first I was hooping, wanted to be the next Chris Paul. Now I'm in a real league with the big dogs, real team player. Watch how I answered at that pick, y'all. He was flowing Twitter, word faster than a quick draw. Soldier, y'all know me on earth can make me get soft. I found the truth and it renewed my whole spirit. 2020 vision, we might see the world through different lenses. Niggas showed they true colors, it was the clearest. That's okay, they need them anyway, I started to lose interest. Look out for Wilson, she clothing, putting no gimmicks. The Messiah on the way to let you know we in the ending. Trying to say, oh, so I don't care about your feelings. In order to see the kingdom, gotta enter through his children. This a rebirth of a nation, it's well, let's get it. Well, a person better gut up your loins.
Alrighty. Let's see here. How did this happen? Oh, that's why. Okay, shalom everybody. I'm back. You guys there? Shalom, shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom, shalom.
Brother.
Okay, there we go. Trying to make sure people are on the line. Okay, so let's get into part 4, man. The story sold and the truth told. All right. So this is what we came for. This is the fun part where we get to see the artifacts, man. Right? And we get to see the artifacts showing the truth, man, despite what Esau wanna say. Right? So people can write or draw whatever propaganda they want to as time passes by to tell a believable lie, but the truth written in stone will always stand, right? Why? Because artifacts preserve truth, right? Let's get Exodus 31:18. Right? Let's see, Exodus 31. I'll go from 16. It says, wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath, to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations for a perpetual covenant. It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever, man. For in 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth, and on the 7th day he rested and was refreshed. And he gave, here's a point, and he gave Moses, when he had made an end of communing with him upon Mount Sinai, 2 tables of testimony, tables of stone, written with the finger of Yahweh, man. Right? So after the Most High met with Moses, he gave him 2 tablets of stone, man, written with his own finger. Right? So you can't change these words. This is what I said. The Most High put it in stone. And we know Moses broke it. And what happened? The Most High gave him another pair to make sure that this law was written in stone, man. Right? Archaeology, or the stones, preserve the truth, man. The artifacts, rather, preserve the truth. You know. Let's read Deuteronomy 32. Deuteronomy 32. And we'll read verse 7. It says, remember the days of old. Remember the days of old. And I had a serious problem with this before I came in the truth, man. I used to be like, yeah, man, just forget about slavery and let's keep it pushing. Let's just band together from now and keep it pushing. We're good. Sounds like a good idea, but it's a bad idea. The Most High say, remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Yeah? Think about, yo, what happened? What really happened then? Consider it. The years of many generations, not just what happened last week, man. Right? He said, ask thy father, man, and he will show you thy elders, and they will tell you, man. Right? You can ask your father, you can ask your grandfather, but you can ask the elders, these old writers, right? These wise men, the men of the scriptures, man. Hey, what really happened? And he said, they'll tell you. Why? Because they've noted it. Esau spends a large amount of time trying to disprove the words of the scriptures. But yet he still uses these same scriptures to find cities, to find names of people, heck, to find artifacts, man. So in one breath, he's using it, and in the other breath, he's denying it. Confusion, his favorite thing. But the Most High say, hey, when I ask my father, he's going to show me, man. When I ask my elders, they're going to tell me. I got to remember the days of old. And I have to think about the years past of many generations and see what I can learn from it. And that's what we've done here. You know. So that being said, today we'll examine the story sold and the truth told through artifacts that Yahweh has left to us to help us determine the truth, right? So, let's begin. So the story sold is this. It says, the culture of Greece has evolved over thousands of years, beginning in Minoan and later in Mycenaean Greece, continuing most notably into classical Greece, while influencing the Roman Empire and its successor, the Byzantine Empire. All right, so the culture of Greece did all this evolving, and it also influenced the Roman Empire and the Byzantine Empire, right? Which is just the Eastern Roman Empire, right? From which the Russians come, all right? It says other cultures and states, such as Frankish states, the Ottoman Empire, the Venetian Republic, and Bavaria and Danish monarchies have also left their influence on modern Greek culture. All right. And this is from, Herodotus, all right, who was a ancient historian. Sorry, this is from this guy named John Myers. This is the description he gave, all right? Writing about Herodotus. My bad. So, as I read this here, right? What are you guys hearing? Like, when they say the culture of Greece evolved over thousands of years, beginning in Minoan and later Mycenaean Greece, continuing most notably in classical Greece while influencing the Roman Empire and so on and so forth. Who's the first people that come to mind as I'm reading about this? Who do you think this is talking about? Just offer the first, listen. Or yeah. Brother Sean. Or maybe who would come to mind if you really didn't know what was going on? Brother Sean, you there? Sister H?
Sorry, what was the question you asked?
What, based on what I just read there, who's the first nation that comes to mind that this is talking about?
How they've developed over the years? The Europeans.
Yeah. Right? On first listen, yeah, people will think the so-called white man. And that's exactly who I thought about as soon as I read this. Right? You think all this is talking about the so-called white man, right? It just shows that the propaganda has worked to perfection. But all praise to the Most High for through the grace of Yahweh Shai, for revealing the truth to us through the artifacts, man. Because none of these ancient, well, I can't say none. Yes, none of these ancient civilizations have to do with the so-called white man. It's only from classical Greece onward that it's actually the so-called white man. But before him, these people had nothing to do with Esau, man. Right? So let's see the truth told through the artifacts. Breaking this down, this excerpt that I just read, breaking it down piece by piece. So the first part says, the culture of Greece has evolved over thousands of years, beginning in Minoan. Okay, so the culture of Greece, according to their own historians, began with Minoan Greece and later Mycenaean Greece. So let's look at some Minoan Greek artifacts. All right, here we go. There we go. So the first one, if I remember correctly, yeah, this is the Phaistos disc. This is the Phaistos disc. All right. Remember, these are supposed to be Edomites, right? Can you guys see this little guy here? Whoops. Can you guys see this little guy here? Family.
A little bit. I'm looking on it on my phone, so I can't really.
You can't really see.
It looks like he's got.
Hold on, let me see if I can get yeah, this is all I got. I got 500%, and that's all I got. Whoops. This guy right here. Can you see that?
1 second.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
Okay. So this is an Edomite? Who does this resemble? Remember, this is a Mycenaean Greek artifact. Who does this guy here resemble?
Is that an Edomite?
Roman?
Why you say Roman? Haha, that's a good answer. Why you say Roman?
That like the top of the head look like those helmets they used to have, like they used to have.
Right. But this is not a helmet. This is this guy's hair.
Oh.
So what hairstyle is this?
A mohawk?
So who wears that hairstyle?
The white.
Huh?
White guys.
Really? Okay, so before the white guy, who wore the mohawk? Who did they get the mohawk from?
Oh, the Indians, I guess.
That's who they got it from.
Yeah.
Remember, this is an ancient Minoan artifact, right? This is an ancient Minoan artifact. Yet there is a man on there with a mohawk on his head, man. And these are supposed to be Edomites?
Okay. No.
You see what I'm saying? When we look at ancient people, hey, we know who had the mohawk. We know who invented the mohawk. It wasn't Esau. You know, I'll even read here. This is a contemporary description, but I mean the people are even in the contemporary description of what of a mohawk. It says a member of the Iroquoian people originally inhabiting parts of eastern New York, one of the 5 peoples comprising the original Iroquois confederacy, man. You know, the Iroquoian language of the Mohawk. Let me just put in Mohawk people, because that might give a better uh the Kanien'kehá:ka, commonly known in English as Mohawk people, are in the easternmost section of Haudenosaunee or Iroquois Confederacy. They are an Iroquois-speaking indigenous people of North America, man. See that? They're indigenous people of North America, man, with community in southern Canada and so on and so forth. All right. Let's see what we get here for the origin of the hairstyle. Let's see what they have to say to us. The Mohawk hairstyle is named after the Native American tribe, man. I mean, say no more. But yet we go into the ancient world and you know, let me just get this at 0 here. Now they say this thing dates back to, oh, that's the language. Hold on. They said the Phasos disc is a 4,000-year-old clay disc. Okay, and it was discovered in 1908 on the Greek island of Crete. Let's go see where Crete is. Oh gosh. This is where the Mohawk, the disc with the Mohawk on it was discovered. Right? Family, haven't I been teaching you guys that the so-called Native Americans are Japhites? Have I not been teaching that?
Yeah.
And look, we have a 4,000-year-old, supposedly. We definitely know it's pre-classical Greece artifact showing you, man, people with mohawks, man, in the Mediterranean Sea, in the land that God said he gave Japheth, the Isles of the Sea. But these people are Edomites? They're supposed to be Edomites? The Edomites came from here? Hell no, man. The artifact says no. Right? Let's look at another one. This is called the Minoan Ivory Goddess. It's from 2000 BC. All right, let me just write 4000 BC here. So they say we'll go with that. Let's look at the Minoan ivory goddess. Can everyone see this lady here? The Minoan ivory goddess. Wait, hold on, let me it says when she was bought by the Rom, she was believed to be a rare example of a female bull leaper from the Minoan civilization of Bronze Age Crete and to date around 1600 BC, man. Okay? Around 1600 BC, Minoan. Remember, they said this is who the Greeks come from, you know, right? Can you guys make out this woman's appearance? Anyone?
Yeah.
What
Looks
features
like
are those?
Asian.
Anybody else? What features are we working with here?
She has it looks like she has like a flat, round forehead. So that's what I noticed.
Right? So if you were to place this woman in a nation, which nation would you place her in? In today's terms.
The Asian.
All right. That's what I saw. I saw an Asian looking person. This is from 1600 BC, man. I can't hear you if you're speaking. You're kind of coming in and out.
Oh, sorry. I said she kind of looks like a Thai, one of those Thai people from Thailand. Yeah.
That's right. She looks exactly like the Thai.
Yeah.
She looks exactly like the Thai people. Right? And remember, Thailand is where? It's in the land of Japheth, man. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lordy, Lordy, Lord. Well, I stand corrected, but there's a lot of Asians in that area. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I'll leave it like that. In any case, she looks Thai. Okay. Asian. All right. Let's look at another one. Oh, this one will really cook your goose, man. Let's see. So they say this is from 2000 BC and from the Aegean Islands. All right. Remember, we're looking at Minoan Greek artifacts. Their scholars call these Minoan Greek artifacts. Let's look at Apollo and Artemis. Okay. Let's look at, so we have, this is not Apollo, this is some other guy. This is funny. Let us have a look here. Let's see. Doesn't give a title here. All right. So they said Delphi. This is from Delphi, Focus, Greece. Okay. Delphi Archaeological Museum, parts of a male chryselephantine statue. And they said possibly of Apollo. All right. Possibly of Apollo. And this is Ionian, which is the same place that they call West Asia Minor. You guys remember by Turkey there, which I showed you guys on the map. That same area, it says it's from there, and it dates about 600 BC. And they said that this is a possible statue of Apollo. Yeah. Can somebody tell me what I'm looking at here? What does this look like? This is supposedly Apollo, the original Apollo.
It don't look like a Edomite, that's for sure.
It sure don't look like a Edomite,
No.
right? Brother Sean, what does this look like to you? Brother Chris,
I guess possibly Asian or maybe even almost Indian.
all right. You can't see proper. You can't tell.
I'd say
Okay, well, let's look at the features. Look at the eyes, around the eyes here. Who has eyes like this?
Japheth?
Yeah, I know it's Japheth for sure.
They have the person has like a monolid, so
That's
it's
right.
definitely Asian, yeah.
They have a monolid. That's the dead giveaway,
Yeah,
right? Now, this is not allowing me to really zoom in too much.
They have a what? What did you say they have?
A monolid, like their eyelid is not really cut out.
Yeah, they don't have they don't have a double eyelid.
Yeah, that's a sure mark of an Asian, man. That's a sure mark of an Asian. And this person don't even look like a man.
Yeah, that looked
right?
like a woman.
It looked like an Asian woman. They said this is possibly Apollo, man. And when you see from the 3/4 view, it's a little bit more clear. You kind of see the flat face, you know, with the nose a little bit out and the face itself with the cheeks and everything. It's a flat face, right? With the little bum chin. This looked like a Korean woman to me, man. You know, specifically, right? That's supposed to be Apollo. Now let's look at let's look at by the way, let's look at their version of Apollo, right? Right. This is sorry about the nakedness. You know Esau already. It have to be naked. Right? I do apologize, family. But this is supposedly Apollo. Right? This is their Apollo. Right? Uh, what is it here? Apollo of Belvedere celebrated marble sculpture from classical antiquity. Okay, at Anzio in the late 15th century. So this is from classical antiquity, which you're gonna see when that period was. Okay, and that's after basically Esau conquered the people them land. So Apollo go from an Asian woman to this guy, right? Right? What's really going on here, man? Here's Apollo. There's their painting of Apollo in 1798, man. Total switch. 1st century AD. Your boy Apollo out here. He's a Edomite now. Or she's a Edomite now. A Edomite man. Now, here's another one. Artemis. Right? By the way, just so you know, all the mythology Esau has, griffins, dragons, he stole it all from Japheth. These are all Japheth's motifs that he was using in Greece. Esau stole it all. Japheth had it on his swords, his jewelry, his boats. Esau stole it all. This is So this is Artemis, okay? Artemis, okay? It's a chryselephantine sculpture in ivory and gold, and this is a sculpture of Artemis, okay? 600 BC. Any takers? What does this look like? This is a Edomite family? What nation would you give this statue? Anyone? Going once, going twice. Family.
Asian.
Asian again.
Yeah.
It sure look Asian to me. That look like an Asian person. This is supposedly Artemis, man. From 600 BC, man. The same, eyelid, right? Very similar, right? Puff out like the Asian with the flat face. This just look like an Asian person. This is supposedly Artemis, man. So Artemis goes from that look to this is Artemis. Now, let's see. Let's see what we got here. This is Artemis, man, from Michelangelo. Right? From that was Artemis of let's see here. What did it say? This says 6000 BC, man. Hold on a second here. Yeah. The earliest known examples are from 2000. So 2000 and from the best known. Okay, so this would be 600. I think this is an error. I think this is a typo here by me because it says the earliest one was from 2000 BC and so that would make 6000 BC wouldn't make sense there. Right? So this is what Artemis became, man. This is Artemis now, man. Right? Which one is Artemis? Poseidon, Apollo, and this is Artemis here on the far right now. Artemis turned to this person and Apollo turned to this person. And this is Poseidon. Somebody tell me what is going on. Right? What is this? Okay, these are just other photos of Apollo, Artemis, and that same what was it? The Minoan Ivory goddess. There she is again, clearly just clearly Asian, man. More angles of Apollo and Artemis, man. Right? Here's an ancient Minoan painting. And according to worldhistory.org, it says male skin is usually red and female is white. And for metals, gold is yellow, silver is blue, and bronze is red. All right, that's the motif for Minoan paintings. Okay, and here's the quote: "Male skin is usually red, female is white, and for metals, gold is yellow, silver is blue, and bronze is red." From worldhistory.org. All right, so let's look. So go ahead.
Sorry, would this be the same Minoan people that they claim Hawaiians come from?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
It would. Which you can now believe looking at them. No?
I guess so. I don't know much of what Hawaiian people look like, but
Yeah,
I guess.
if you take a look at Hawaiian, just take a good look at Hawaiian people, especially indigenous Hawaiian people, man. They look Asian. They're brown skin and they have kind of curly, straightish hair, kind of like this, but they look Asian.
You're right. Okay.
Yeah, that's what Hawaiian people look like. So, oftentimes when people claim Minoan, you look at them and yeah, they look like these people,
Okay.
But anyway, I want to show you guys this fresco because it tells you again, pardon the nudity. I couldn't cover this thing, sorry. It tell you they usually paint the women white and they usually paint the men red. Okay. These are not Edomites, family. Like, come on. First of all, the men penis is not out. So you don't know that's not Esau. I'm joking. I'm kind of joking. But this is one of the frescoes, man. Right? With their men and their women, man. Right? The Minoan Greek artifact. Okay. So were the Minoans Edomites from these artifacts? Clearly not. Let's move on. The culture of Greece has evolved over thousands of years. The excerpt above continued. It said, beginning in Minoan and later in Mycenaean Greece. So now we're going to look at some Mycenaean Greek artifacts, right? Watch this. Right? This shaft grave was found by the processional way leading up to Mycenaean palace of Nestor at Pylos. It dates to around 1500 BC. All right. The location of this grave near to such a central site demonstrates the centrality of the buried person, the legacy in the community. So this buried person was important. It was named after the griffin decorated ivory plaque found with the corpse, man. So from 1500 BC, you have griffin decorated ivory plaques in important people graves, right? This is the gold and bronze sword handle from the Griffin warrior grave, 1650 BC, man, says the Smithsonian magazine. Has anyone seen a sword like this before? In any movie or anything like that? Anyone ever seen a sword with this kind of style handle before?
Yep.
Where have you seen it?
Kung Fu movies?
You're asking me? I want to know where you actually seen it. Yeah,
Kung
have you
Fu
seen?
movies.
All right, cool.
It looks almost like a Roman sword,
Exactly.
a Roman short sword.
That's what.
The ones that they use.
Yep. It looks like a Roman short sword, man. Right? Now let me just have a look here because I seen a few of them in movies, man. You know. If I can click this here. Right? You got that, which whatever. But this is the one I usually see, man. Right? With this kind of curved head here, man. The so-called Roman gladius. Right? Let me just type in. Oh, here we go. I did that already. Right? So where did they get it from? You know? That all I got here on this? Let's see what else we got. Let's look at another artifact from 1600 BC. Funerary mask in gold foil, found in Tomb 4, Circle A, Mycenaean, dated to the 16th century BC, man. What's going on? Who is this, family? What nation is this? Right? What does this look like? Akira, you there? Akira,
Yeah,
you
I'm
there?
here.
Yeah, what does this look like
Um,
to you?
well, they've got like a unibrow and the puffy eyes. And um and the maybe Asian again, like Mongolian maybe?
Yep. They look Asian. That's from 1650 BC, right? A funerary mask found, I believe, in somebody's grave, right?
It looks like Buddha, like almost like the Buddha face.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's from 1650 BC, family. Mycenaean Greek artifact. Mycenaean Greek, right? There's another one, right? I mean, they straight up give the man the double puff. They straight up give the man the double puff on the eye, man. They make sure they carve that, yes? You know? That's from Mycenaean Greece. It says here 1600 to 1500 BC, man. Funerary mask of Agamemnon, legendary king of Mycenae, man. Right? They said he was the leader of the Greek expedition to Troy. That whole Troy story is just full of just, oh my gosh. Read up on Troy. When they get to, it's a myth. Let's just say that. It's a legend. Nobody knows what's true and what's not true about it. But look, they tell you he was the king of Mycenae and the leader of the Greek expedition to Troy. This man led the so-called white man to Troy? He surely didn't. He surely did not. These people were not Edomites. Right? That's ancient Mycenae. Let's see, a colored mortared head of a female from 1300 BC. Right? Right? Again, the facial structure, that's an Asian, you know, with the little mouth that just look little and vexed. Colored mortar female head found in Mycenaean house in Greece, 13th century BC, family. All right. So that's the Mycenaeans, two ancient people. All right. One there as late as 600 BC. The others from 1300 BC, not Edomites. So when the Edomites tell you they come from that area, it's a bold-faced lie. They don't come from that area, man. They displaced those people. Reading on from the excerpt, it says, yep, couple more minutes. We should be done by 4:30. It says here, the culture of Greece has evolved over thousands of years, beginning in Minoan, later in Mycenaean, and continuing, notice they say here, most notably, it continued into classical Greece, right? So if you want to note something, make sure you note classical Greece and forget about the days of old and the years of many generations. But our God say the exact opposite. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations, right? So in classical Greece, let's look at some classical Greek artifacts, right? Right. This is 5th century BC Greek civilization, right? Are these Asians, family? Are these Asian looking people? Do these look like
No.
Asians? All right. Just checking. Want to make sure I'm not crazy and I'm not seeing whatever I want to see. Sorry. What about this man here? This is 5th century BC, bronze statue of Zeus or Poseidon. Is this an Asian looking man, family? Oh, who this man look like? What nation? A Edomite. He might pass for an Arab that's mixed, a Persian, certainly not an Asian. Let's look at Socrates, 439 BC. Ancient Athenian philosopher. These guys stole Athens from the Japhites. We read about that. They were not in Athens. They took Athens. They came from the sea, set up and pushed the people out, man. Came from land as well and pushed the people out. But now Socrates says he's an Athenian, man. You're not an Athenian, just like the Edomites here are not Americans. Not a single one. You're an Edomite from Mount Seir. You're not American. You're not English. You're not Russian. You're not Welsh. You're none of those things. You stole those lands from the indigenous people and took their names to go with it and their culture. Because when you have to dig for these pictures, the ancient photos. Because when you pull up these people, unless you type in ancient, you're not seeing them. You're seeing Edomites. And sometimes when you do type in ancient, you still see Edomites. So you got to go read and then see what they were calling the people before they were calling them this. And then when you look for those people, that's when you see the artifacts of those people. Esau whitewashed the world. The whole world he colonized. Here's Socrates. Is this an Asian man? Is this the man of the same progeny as the Artemis of 600 BC, man? Or the Apollo of 600 BC, right? Or King Agamemnon of 1300 BC? This is the people? Certainly not. So that's the classical Greek artifacts, right? How come the Greeks before 500 BC are Asian-looking people, but after 500 BC, they're all so-called white-looking people? It's because the so-called white man stole their identity after he conquered their lands. Okay. Now let's look at DNA proof real quick, and I think that'll be it. Yep, and then that's it. So in genetic reporting, Edomites often concentrate on the mitochondrial DNA called mtDNA. See what the Most High did there? He make them call it mtDNA. The woman DNA that they use to trace people lineage, the Most High make them call it mtDNA, because you're not gonna get no answers from it. Right? It says, although most DNA, this is from Medline Plus, although most DNA is packaged in chromosomes within the nucleus, mitochondria also have a small amount of their own DNA. This genetic material is known as mitochondrial DNA or mtDNA. All right. Okay, so in genetic reporting, Edomites often concentrate on mitochondrial DNA called mtDNA to hide the progenitor of various populations. He uses mtDNA because it comes from the mother. And we know that from Numbers 1 verse 2, the mother does not determine the ancestry. So Esau used the mother because you're going to say everybody's mixed up if you use the mother. Brother Chris, can I get the Numbers 1, 2, please, if you have it? If you can, just give it to Isaac. Brother Chris, you there? All right, we'll press on. Let me pull it out then. Numbers 1 and verse 2, it says, take ye the sum of all the congregation of the children of Israel after their families, by the house of their mother? No, it says by the house of their father. Take the number. With the number of their names, every male by their polls. Okay? So that's how the people were counted, man. The congregation was counted after the family by the house of their fathers, man. That's how they were counted. All right. Says, therefore, to determine ancestry before God, the father's DNA, called Y DNA, is needed. This is the important DNA sequence that you're looking for. Let's examine the Y DNA of the real ancient Greeks, right? It says Y DNA chromosome data proves Greeks to be so-called Asians. That was my discovery, all right? In human genetics, haplogroup JM172, all right, or J2 is a Y chromosome haplogroup. Now, be careful with these here because each company that does this has a different naming convention, all right? So when you go look these things up, you could see anything. Make sure you read and you know what you're looking at. So in human genetics, haplogroup JM172 or J2 is a Y chromosome haplogroup. So you know that follows the father, which is a subclade of or branch of haplogroup JM304. Haplogroup JM172 is common in modern populations in Western Asia, okay, Central Asia, okay, South Asia, Southern Europe, which is these islands that we keep talking about, Northwest Iran, okay, Northwest Iran. You won't be able to see nothing there. Just type this in. Did I have this thing loaded already? No. This is where it's talking about Northwest Iran, all right, around here. And there's actually a mountain, there's this mountain range here. There's a mountain range here that people settled here from, and that's where they're talking about, all right, around the Caspian Sea, all right. Yeah, so Japheth's land, Northwest Iran, and also North Africa, all right. And you know, if these people were in the Isles of the Sea, it's easy for them to get to North Africa. Now, sure, okay, let's keep going. It is thought that JM 172 may have originated where? The Caucasus, between the Caucasus, Anatolia, or Western, and Anatolia, sorry, or Western Iran. So where did this DNA thing originate, they said? The Caucasus. Can somebody tell me who was in the Caucasus Mountains? Was it the Edomites in the Caucasus Mountains, or was it Japheth in the Caucasus Mountains? Was it the Edomites originally in the Caucasus Mountains, or was it Japheth in the Caucasus Mountains? Remember, Esau is not from that land. So who was there? Family, who was there? Was it Esau or was it Japheth?
Sorry, you saying prior to Esau, sorry, what was the question again, how you asked it?
Who are the Aboriginal people of the Caucasus Mountains? Because it sure ain't Esau. Our whole study has showed us that it was not Esau. Esau does not come from the Caucasus Mountains. He comes from the Mount Seir. He comes from Petra, right? So who were the original people in these Caucasus Mountains right here?
Yay.
Right here, sorry, right here. Who's there? Whose land is that? Whose land is this? That's right.
Japheth, yeah.
That's Japheth's land. When you look in Turkmenistan, the indigenous people, Turkmenistan, Japhites. Uzbekistan, Japhites. All these people look Asian. Kazakhstan, Japhites. The Mongols, we know that. Japhites all day. China, Japhites. And now we're learning this whole of Western Europe was all Japheth, right? And we looked at even the I think it was the Gaelic people. We looked at a few of these people up north here, the Danes, right? We looked at all these people. We looked at the Danish people as well, and it showed you that these people were Japhites. The people from the Caucasus were Asian people, and the brother Chris pointed out that the name even tells you Caucasian means Asian from the Caucasus. It was never Edomites, right?
Yeah,
And
that
it's
would,
go ahead.
that would make a lot of sense too, because considering how they're always like overpopulated in their area, it
Yeah.
would make sense for them to have a bigger land mass as well for their people. Yeah.
The Most High told you he would enlarge Japheth. Japheth is the biggest nation on earth by far,
So
right? So, and it says this JM 172, they say may have originated between the Caucasus and Anatolia. Now we know, that's not where it originated. We know, these guys, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, are from, oh gosh, Noah, right? But they certainly were in those lands for a long time. From time, Noah came to repopulate the earth until this time, they've been there, right? They're still there today. Go any of these places and find the indigenous people, you're gonna see that they're Japhites. All of these places, I put money on it. Okay? Because these people are Asian people, or Japhite, you know what I mean? So-called Asian, they're Japhites, right? Anyway, it says here, it is thought that JM 172 may have originated between the Caucasus and Anatolia, man. Right? Haplogroup JM172 is found mainly in the Fertile Crescent, all right, which includes right here. Sorry, it's easier to see than to, to describe, right? And this is the Mediterranean Sea. This is the Persian Gulf here. This is the Gulf of Aqaba here. I can't remember what this is. This is Arabia. All right. So most of the people they say is from the Fertile Crescent, and up here, of course, would be Japheth's land. Now watch this. It's mainly found in the Fertile Crescent, in the Caucasus, all right, in those mountains, in Anatolia, which is so-called Western Turkey, where Esau came and found the Japhites, Italy, where Esau came and found the Japhites, the Mediterranean littoral, I'm not sure where that's talking about, and the Iranian plateau, which still has a lot of indigenous Asian-looking people. It says here the highest reported frequency of JM172 ever was 87.4% among the English people. Now, for the life of me, you can't find these English people. You must you gotta pay for information or something to find these English people. The information on them is very scant. Why? Because Esau changed their name. They used to be called the Nak people, then he called them the English people. When you look again among the indigenous people of Nak, they are so-called Asian-looking people. They actually look like Mongolians. And I have a picture of an English woman here. So the highest reported was among the English people. All right, now watch this. Right? Whoops. What's going on here? This is where you have the highest reported Y-DNA showing that the father is Japheth, man. Right? Among these people. What did I want to bring out there? What did I want to bring out there? Wait, hold on a second. Yes. Okay. So the English people call themselves the Galgaj, the Galgaj people. The name Ingushteya derives from the Russian name of Ingush, which in turn is derived from the ancient Ingush village Angusht and from Georgian suffix at. Right? There's something I saw here that I wanted to bring out. English people of Nak ancestry. You could even see some of them here, but they're also mixing up the medicine with showing you, people that look like Edomites. But these three men here look like Asian men. And of course, as you get into the 20th century, it's all Edomites. These are the Byzantines or so-called Russians that, what do you call it, conquered these people's lands. There's an account that I read where it tells you that these people were basically Scythians. Where was it? Give me a second here. Where is it? Oh, I think I lost it. Mm. Where was this thing, man? Just give me one quick second here, family. Okay, well, I lost it. I lost it, but in any case, um, we'll just stick with this, man. This is the English people, man. The indigenous people of those regions, which would be these men here, okay, that are indigenous to the place, okay? And you can see with the top three, some of the Asian features still in them, right? Looking like Genghis Khan. And then of course the woman, the English woman here, right? And they tell you straight, oh, whoops, they tell you straight, oh, there we go, English woman in traditional costume, 1881. All right. So in conclusion, according to the artifacts, okay, that we have, Esau is not the indigenous people of so-called Europe. All right, the indigenous people are Japhites, okay, who are so-called Asian people. All right, the most numerous people on the face of the planet. All right, that is their land. Esau stole it from them along with a lot of their heritage, right? And that's pretty much it, right? So in part 5, we're gonna see how Esau um got Mount Seir back, right? How Esau got Mount Seir back. All right. And that'll be it for the lesson series, right? So all praise to the Most High. That's all I got for today. Thank you guys for sticking with us here. I know it was a little bit longer today, but hopefully it was edifying for you. Anybody have any questions before I blow the trumpet and we close in a prayer? Going once, going twice, and
I
okay.
had one, but I forgot, so
Yeah.
I'll tell you later.
No
I
problem.
forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, any questions, comments, feel free to shoot me or my wife a text if you don't get it on the line. All right, so I'm gonna stop the recording. And then we'll wrap up. And for the people that joined us online or will join us online, I pray that you were edified by this lesson, and you take the information and you so-called Negroes use this information to come back to your God, man, and realize that what we're dealing with here is not a fantasy, but reality, right? And the Most High put all the information out there, man, in solid form, artifacts, so that you only need the faith of a mustard seed, okay, to be able to roll with the Most High. And if you don't have that at least that much faith, I mean, you're not gonna make it in this world or the next, right? So I pray you take this information and learn how to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High with it. If that's what you want to do, definitely, stay in touch with me here. Shoot me a message. You understand what I'm saying? Follow the channel. But get yourself around Israelites, righteous Israelites, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, so that you can win in this life and the next. All right. And with that, peace in the name of Yahweh Shai.